But we could also, instead of just reducing the price by $100, we could put that $100 to use in other ways. So we could say, let's keep the price at $200, but say, in addition, we're going to give you a bonus $100 spending cash to get whatever else you want.
All right, this one comes from Nelson Mandela, and it says, after climbing a great hill, one only finds there are many more hills to climb. I like this one. I was asked a question the other day. A friend of mine, he told me, he's like, hey, you know, what do you think the goal to the overall goal is to climbing Mount Everest, right? And I was like, well, to make it to the top. And he was like, yeah, so that's good, but mine would be to make it back down to the bottom, right? Because yeah, you can climb to the top, but what happens on the way? You know, what happens if you don't make it back, right? There's there could be some situations where you might not make it back, right? You can make it to the top, but when you're trying to get back down, you know, you could possibly die or something, right? So I was like, you know what? I never thought about it like that, right? So to climbing Mount Everest is not actually climbing to the top; it's making it back down from the top, right? And also, I'm a big sports guy. I love sports, and this is also another reason why something like this applies too, especially in the game of football, basketball, and like soccer and things like that. You usually kind of already know who's gonna make it to the finals, you know, year in and year out, because it's just set up that way. But in football, it's really hard to determine. Yeah, you have the Patriots. But over the last couple of years, we've seen that, you know, it can get harder for them, especially when they get to the Super Bowl, right? And in the modern Super Bowl era, to win back-to-back Super Bowls is a hard feat to accomplish, right? Just the competition, there's injuries like all the time. So there was. I overheard, I forgot who it was, I think it was Eric Thomas. He was giving a speech talking about Emmitt Smith back in the days when he played for the Cowboys, right? He won his Super Bowl, but he knew that he had to get right back to work. If he wanted to be right back, if they wanted to win the Super Bowl again, you had to go right back to work. You know, like the Eagles this year, they're kind of on a Super Bowl hangover, right? They're kind of like, you know, they won last year, yeah, but they're not that same hungry, that hungry underdog that they were last year, right? It's like, you know, they're on that hangover. It's like, look, hey, I just ate all that turkey, you know, Thanksgiving Day. I'm just gonna sit back and watch TV, right? Well, me and T-Dot would probably be like, you know what? Just give me one plate of the turkey, and then it's right back to work. Because I know that next day I'm gonna be right back in the gym, right into getting it, right into fighting. Because at the end of the day, I might have climbed that hill to get to that turkey, but there's still another hill I gotta climb.
All right, back at it again. Sales meeting number 48. We had a good one yesterday because we calculated the lifetime value of a client. Do you remember what it was without looking at it?
For mine or for the business?
For the business.
It was like, what, 1900?
Yeah, so we determined, I don't know if you guys can see that, but we determined that every time we get a new client in the doors, first time customer, never purchased before, never bought anything, it's worth, on average, over the lifetime, we have clients work with us, about $1,933. So, using that information, that kind of gives us a little bit of an idea of how much we can feel like we can afford to spend on acquiring new clients and how much we can work with our advertising budget and stuff like that. So today, we're going to talk about lowering the barrier to entry and making it easier for people to become first-time clients.
Okay.
So now that we've calculated the lifetime value of the client, we have lots of ways to accomplish our break-even objective. But now I know, like we talked about yesterday, we just thought, oh, well, let's just cut the price on the first purchase, which is basically all we talked about mostly.
Okay.
But as I was studying this more yesterday, I realized that not necessarily is the goal just to cut the price of the first purchase, but it's actually more to make it so appealing that people would rather say yes than no. So it's not just price. We can do other things where people are like, oh, I do want to buy from you. So it doesn't have to always just be price. So it says, while reducing the price of your product or service is the most common and obvious way to get the first sale, there are other powerful ways to obtain first-time buyers. So for example, we can calculate our allowable marketing cost, which we were kind of talking about. How much do we feel safe if we know we're gonna over the lifetime make $2,000 approximately? How much do we feel comfortable spending to get that or to advertise that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we can use that knowledge or that price by trying to make it more appealing to the client. So let's say that our product sells, just random numbers, but for $200, and our cost to produce it is $100. So we make $100 profit. We also need to realize that the average client's going to repurchase several times a year for several years. So that means we are going to make over time a pretty good profit if we're making $100 a sale. They purchase several times a year for several years. Okay, that's cool. That's good. So obviously on the first sale, we could reduce our price by $100. So we're still going to break even, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we could also, instead of just reducing the price by $100, we could put that $100 to use in other ways. So we could say, let's keep the price at $200, but say, in addition, we're going to give you a bonus $100 spending cash to get whatever else you want. So we're still going to be giving away that $100 profit, but we're actually saying the price is $200, but we're going to give you a bonus $100 to spend on whatever you want. So in a way, they might actually buy more, use that $100, but then we're going to profit on whatever the above and beyond that is on whatever else they might want to buy, right? So that's one idea, which I thought was interesting.
So it could be, or could it be like? Well, I'll explain it later.
Okay, so that's one example. Or we could charge the full $200, but give them twice the quantity. So, or say, normally 1,000 cards is, let's just say $200, but we really want you to earn your business. So what if on this first order I give you 2,000 cards for the same price? Okay, just so we're adding value. And actually, in reality, it doesn't cost us much to make an extra 1,000 cards. So we'd probably be it wouldn't cost us $100 of profit to do something like that.
Yeah. And
we're also still not making the price cheaper. So it's just another way to think about it rather than just saying, oh, well, I'll give it to you for $50 off just to get your business, right? Okay, so and I wasn't even thinking about this yesterday until I started reading this. I was like, oh, well, why am I always just thinking price, price, price?
Yeah.
There's so much more we could do. Or we could take, all right, so we were talking about that, blah, blah, blah. Rolling back into it here. Okay, so we could take, thinking still this $200 sale.
Mm-hmm.
What could we do instead of just giving them $100 off? We talked about those last two examples. Now let's say we could just throw in what costs us approximately $100 in printing and just say, hey, you're ordering cards, but we're actually throwing in this $100 banner for you today, along with your order, for free. So we could put in $100 of complimentary services or products. So I thought that was kind of cool. So that makes the value of our offer way greater and way more attractive without just saying, oh, we'll just do it cheaper than Joe down the street. So that's just something to get the mind turning. Yep. So the only limitation we have on how to use our allowable marketing or selling cost to help us strategically break even on the initial sale is that he says that it's got to be, this is from Jay Abraham, I didn't mention that, the old school business coach, but he says it's got to be ethical and legal. So as long as it's ethical and as long as it's legal, you can basically test out anything you want. And you just have to make sure that in the long term, you have to think big picture and make sure that it's not going to sink your ship later on. So you have to be a little careful, but always test small. So when this strategy is applied, it'll make your conventional thinking, non-strategic competitors look way more expensive and appear to offer way less value, and you'll visibly gain distinction and attract more clients and seed significant profits for the future. As he said, if people start seeing you're doing all this stuff and then they go down and talk to anyone else, they're going to be like, why would I ever do business with these guys when Alpha Graphics is going to double my order, throw in a banner, give me a bonus $100 spending cash? Why would I go anywhere else, right?
Exactly.
So in order to kind of make this meeting count today, there's a little action step we're going to take. So we're going to make a list of some products or services that we sell, and then we're going to figure out how we can lower that resistance barrier to a prospective client by kind of making it easier for them to do business with us, not necessarily just with price. So we just want to focus on the fact that where we start doesn't have anything to do with where we're going to end up in the long term with the profit. So we might lose a little on the very beginning, but in the long run, it's gonna be good. So we just have to remember, we're always focused on just what's happening at the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you get that new first client coming in for a lower price, then after that, we begin to offer and turn more sales into the full margin going forward after that. So if we use the logical strategy of lowering the barrier of entry to get started in a relationship, it will produce significant business results. That's what we're gonna think about today in our brainstorming session, I guess you could call it. So that's my sales notes. So let's grab my yellow pad and let's think about a couple offers maybe we can test out next week.
Okay.
Or even if you have someone you're working with that you're trying to sell, maybe like Apperson,
Mm-hmm.
we could figure out like, hey, you know, I didn't talk about this earlier. Maybe not him, just because we're trying to do that, how we're doing it. But someone, you know, maybe Dasa, maybe. Say we're doing that wrap for you. Would you mind if I threw in some business cards for you guys at no charge? Why would you do that? Because I want to help you guys out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's think of some, first off, what kind of products could we add into
Well, you
and
said
order business cards,
business
right?
cards, banners.
We'll call this add-ons. No
Okay.
charge, no charge, add-ons, no charge.
Maybe I don't know. Like, well, what's
Like our business is good because it costs us so little to produce all this stuff, whereas if someone's selling a radio or a computer, it's kind of hard just to throw in another computer.
Yeah, but if they're just throwing some $175 software.
Right, exactly.
What
Okay, so
about
business cards.
notepads?
I love notepads, yes. Business cards, banners. And since we have so many options, we can decide what kind of business they are and what would make sense
Mm-hmm.
to give to them, right? So notepads.
What if we do that for BMW? Say, hey, look,
Yes.
if you get the pins and the calendars, I'll throw the notepads in there for you.
That would be great. Yes. We'll have to think about which one would be the best to throw in, but yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. Or we could say, do you need a banner for your grand opening that you guys are going to put out on the highway while people are driving by? Oh, well, we could make you one of those. What if I just did that with the order? Make you a nice big 5-foot by 5-foot banner. Wow, why would you do that? Well, just because I want to help you out. Something like that, right?
Mhm.
But I like that's a great one. Business cards, banners, notepads are good. What else is easy and valuable? We could do for like a construction guy, vehicle magnets. People like those, right?
Mm-hmm. Or what about the yard signs?
Yard signs, that's a great one too, yes. Vehicle magnets. Yard signs. Okay, that's some good add-on ideas. Now I'm already forgetting what was the first couple examples. Oh, so throw in a credit.
Oh, yes, yes.
A $100 credit to whatever else you want to get.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Does it have to exceed in this? That's what I was gonna say. Is it gonna $100 credit if order exceeds? What,
right, yeah, I know what you're
150?
saying.
You know what I mean?
Kind of depends on what their original order is.
Exactly.
Yeah, so let's say they're ordering just a set of business cards. Hey, an extra $25. Or if
To
they're
go towards
ordering-
your business
If
cards.
they're ordering a $2,500 window wrap, say, hey, well, we'll throw in an extra $250 for whatever you want. So we'll call that the bonus cash. I don't know what we can come up with a better name for it.
I think that's great. We're just gonna have to come up with, like you said, if it's an order that's like what, $50 to $75, $25.
I got what you're saying.
You know
We
what I
just
mean?
make a decision.
Yeah.
So we already know what it is before they show
Exactly.
up. Is $25 exciting enough to somebody?
Well, if the order's only like what, 100, I mean like 50 to $75.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So let's just do that right now. So let's say orders under $100.
Okay.
Under 100. We'll give you $25 in AG bonus cash.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll say 100 to 250. $50 credit. And now we can advertise this on Instagram too and say, hey, we're just doing this little AG bonus cash promo for the month of December, because December's slow anyways, right? Anybody that spends X amount, you get this as an AG bonus cash for whatever else you guys want to use it for. 100 to 250, then we'll say maybe.
What, like, well, let's just say 300 and above, like $100 cash. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then even if we break even, like we just talked about, as long as they come back a few times, then we're money ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a good one. So bonus cash. Okay, so add-ons, we got that. More, give them the bonus cash, we got that. That's the only examples I had in here. So what else? Is there anything else that pops into your mind that we could do with, to play around with some adding value? I was thinking today, what we talked about, actually we should write this down because it's in the same idea. Do discount cards in certain orders for after they've made their first purchase. We put in that Alpha Graphics next order discount card.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was thinking too, he said, well, why not make a rewards program,
Okay.
or a buyer's card?
That
So every
works.
time you buy X amount of orders or X amount of dollars, you get a bonus of some sort.
Yeah,
Like
kind
a
of
loyalty card, like a loyalty card.
like how I have it with the humidor.
Yeah.
After every 500 points, I get that $25
Gift card.
$25 gift card.
So we can theme it with the Dirty Kitchen.
Yeah.
Even though it's Alpha Graphics.
Mm-hmm.
Say, hey, the Dirty Kitchen loyalty card. Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. We could do like a punch card, or
We could. Yeah, that works.
just have a special hole punch back there and clip it for them.
Or just make it a regular card and then we just check it and.
It has to be something where you can't get ripped off.
Oh yeah, this is true.
Although, I mean, we know everybody that comes in and out the door, but
I mean, but then
it has to be some way of keeping it legitimate.
well, yeah, but we could also track it too. Like, you know, maybe we could put it like
I
in
guess
the
it's all on the
POS. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
sir,
Yeah.
you're trying to tell me that you did all 7 purchases?
I'm gonna sue you for not giving it to me. We gotta be.
That's not even my. Whose signature is that?
We gotta think that one through, but that's something I thought would be cool, like the Dirty Kitchen loyalty card. What is that? You know the Dirty Kitchen? No. Aren't you watching our stuff? Well, now you better start watching
They do all my printing.
We could do the Dirty Kitchen, like the loyalty card on one side, and on the back side have like the QR code and say scan here for the latest video.
I like that too.
And then they always have it in their pocket. And then whenever they scan it, just boom, goes right to our latest page, right? I thought about that on the discount cards too. We'll theme it for the Dirty Kitchen, and then it's gonna help us get more awareness for what we're doing. Okay. Anything else that you can think of that would be kind of like a cool, instead of just making it cheaper off the bat? Any other ideas that come to mind?
Well, like whenever we give it to the certain people, we could tell them to say, hey, look, it's not just for your your job business. If you need any like printing, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, so I know you're in here for your
You work at
trucking company, but
yeah.
I know you also have that beer oil company.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. It's just like, hey,
Yeah.
you know, if you ever any like invitations for your niño
Side,
or
side
your
hustle cash.
yeah.
The side hustle. The side hustle program.
Yeah.
Tell us about your business when you order. Tell us about your side hustle business when you order from Alpha Graphics West Ave, and we'll hook you up with some side hustle cash or something
There
like
you go.
side hustle bonus. Oh, we could do a whole promotion around that.
Yeah.
We deal with people every day, and we know that you work hard at your job, but we know a lot of you also have that side hustle, and
Wait.
we want to help you.
And then and then also what we could do is we have the Dirty Kitchen channel. And we should have our side hustle channel where we specifically just talk about like you with with your immigration books and and your cooking and stuff like that. And I can talk about.
Why can't we just do that on the channel we have?
But like how I mean there's different like Grant Cardone's got his Cardones up, but then he also has the Young Hustlers too, right? Where they just
right. Well, that only problem is that they merged all those into the Cardone zone now.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because they said that was it's better to have all of your attention in one place.
Oh, okay.
So they started out with 6 different shows.
Okay.
And now they all
Just do one?
they all go into the Cardone zone.
All right.
Which is, I've thought about that too. Then the only other thing that gets tough too is when you start doing all these other things, we run out of time to put it all up.
No, I got you.
Which is the only wall I'm running into now. It hadn't been a while since I put a new video on YouTube because it takes a long time.
Well, I don't know what I mean, like I know obviously you're married and stuff like that, right? So like,
yeah.
if we could like get together like on a weekend, and then like kind of, you know what I mean, where we can actually build on some of this stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for it.
Well, yeah, I'm sure we can do something like that. My weekends are always different, but we can think about it, plan it.
Maybe if it's just like one weekend a month, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll probably have to do that because we don't have time to do everything else.
Like I said, I know during the week, I know I'm pretty slammed, and then.
That's why we did the Wednesdays though, because it gave us that extra hour. Yeah, we can probably work something out like that. Just gotta plan ahead.
Exactly.
Okay. This is a good list. I'm happy with this. I think what we'll do is we'll just put it on the wall for now, and then when we think, oh, we have an opportunity to put one of these in there, we'll look at this list and decide which one we're gonna use.
All right.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Sales meeting number 48.
Boom.
Kitchen a dirty, the dirty, the dirty. Kitchen a dirty, kitchen a dirty. Kitchen a dirty, the dirty, the dirty. Kitchen a dirty, kitchen a dirty. Kitchen a dirty, the dirty, the dirty.